if I am right, that this entire thing was created by Goldman Gary and the other central banksters to destroy all the progress that we as an industry have made over the past decade, couldn't execute it better. People think we're back to crypto winter. We're not. This was just a nor'easter. I live down here in North Carolina, and about every 10 years or so, we get a monster storm in the middle of spring, snowstorm. And it's just a nor'easter that spins off the coast, drops all this snow, and makes living in North Carolina hell for about a week because we don't know how to deal with snow. But I think that's what this whole FTX debacle has been. So there are allegations, and I can't substantiate them, but there's a lot of things that are pointing to them being true, that some of the money wasn't actually speculated away. There are allegations that that money was given directly to political candidates. That's not a coincidence. Well, Caroline will not be punished. SBF will not be punished. Mark my words, neither one of them will be punished. We, the industry, will be punished. Who wrote the tweet on exactly how you blow up Luna? It went line by line. You borrow the Bitcoin, you short the Bitcoin, you do the following things. You know about the third to the fourth epoch in the anchor thing. So it was laid out in November of last year, line by line. And the accused, what they accused, we, the collective, we all accused Citadel or JP Morgan or somebody like that, BlackRock. Let me go with this for a second. What if it was them? So here's the weird thing. If you're a regulator, which group would you investigate first? A shady offshore group, not incorporated in the US, with their major investor, a Chinese national? Or would you go after a firm based in New Jersey or a firm based in Kansas City that does crypto lending? I don't know. I probably would go after the offshore one. Oh, no. So Otteru, which, by the way, the Otteru Twitter account, shut down, gone. How did Otteru get inside documents on Celsius and leak them? And then who shows up to save them? Oh, FTX. And then they decide not to. Oh, how does Otteru get inside documents on BlockFi and leak them? And who shows up? FTX. Voyager. Shocking. FTX. So what if, right? Go all the way back to the beginning. This was the plan to say, what is the greatest threat?
A new financial system.
A new financial system.
Based on self-sovereignty.
Based on self-sovereignty. Things like stable coins. If $1 million leaves the banks and goes into a stable coin, do the banks care? Whatever. $1 billion. Don't care. $100 billion? Now we have a problem. So what do? You attack the stablecoin first with your PSYOP organization that you set up, that they set up. Gensler and Ellison and Fried or Fry. Is it lost on anyone the irony that Sam Bankman Fried? Am I the only one that sees that? Right?
Yeah.
You pronounce it Fried, but it's written Fried, and it's Bankman. So the banks organized this whole thing. They took down Luna, and what happened the next day? Literally, not even 12 hours after Luna collapsed, who was on TV calling for regulation of stablecoins? Janet Yellen. And here's the thing: it's all going back to Sam's mom. It's all going back to the Democratic Party. Y'all do know, right, that, you had the big memo yesterday, the humble brag from Sequoia. Oh, yes, we lost 150 million, but we've made 7.4 billion on our other stuff. Love that. You guys do know that Sam personally invested $500 million into Sequoia and one other firm. And where did that money come from? This is a money laundering front for the Democratic Party. This whole thing, this entire organization is funneling money into, because who are the partners of those Silicon Valley firms contributing to the super PAC that Sam's mom runs? Check it out. This is one of the most unbelievably elegant takedowns of a competitive threat. This rivals what JP Morgan and John D. Rockefeller did to the Knickerbocker Trust and the entire trust industry when the trust industry was taking share from their beloved banking industry. They spread a rumor that Knickerbocker Trust, was insolvent. You've seen the picture, the men and women in their top hats and their dresses and their umbrellas doing the run on the bank. Who stepped up to personally guarantee? JP Morgan.
JP.
You know, we've all heard over the years, at some point the government's just going to ban it. Well, you can't ban a decentralized thing, right? It's like squeezing air in a balloon. The air just goes someplace else. But what you can do is you can destroy the on-ramps and off-ramps. You actually can't even ban those because they'll just move to another jurisdiction. But you can do what they just did. You can sow the seeds of doubt, create the bank run that Jim just described, and then you end up with an obliteration. But here's the thing. Over the course of time, from the 1700s to the 1800s to the 1900s, this has gone on multiple times, right? There have been multiple attempts to challenge the 800-year reign of the banksters. There have been lots of attempts. But at the end of the day, the Rothschilds and the Morgans and all the other members of the cabal come back and they destroy the trust that Jim talks about in these emergent systems. At the end of the day, there's a tipping point. Some leverage, perfectly appropriate. Too much leverage, lethal. And that's what happened here. Why did Celsius go down so fast? Well, two reasons. One, excess leverage, but also this silly, own token where you pump up the price to create equity. Same problem with FTT. But let's just back up 1 second. What is the FTX business plan? That's the part that's so mysterious here, in that if there was no real trading apparatus that was profitable, right? It was just a shit show. And really, they were siphoning money, customer funds into that shit show, either to be incinerated or to be handed to political candidates. Why would he be in Washington, again, doling out money to curry favor, to get legislation passed against DeFi, against foreign competitors like CZ? Here's the big problem. If I am right that this entire thing was created by Goldman Gary and the other central banksters to destroy all the progress that we as an industry have made over the past decade, couldn't execute it better. You have a useful idiot, Manchurian candidate, that is up there sounding good. Michael, you think he sounds good? If you watch the Manchurian candidate, when they turned that chip on, he sounded awesome. But when they turned the chip off, he was an idiot. A total meltdown isn't good for the cause. It is good for the banksters. So again, back to incentives. Does CZ have the incentive to blow up the system? Nope. Does, Goldman Gary? Yep. Here's the part of the plan that actually someone put this out there, and it's so sinister. I love it. This is all about what's going to happen at the end. The feds are going to seize something, right? They seized Mt. Gox, they seized Silk Road, they're going to seize it, right? Then they're going to auction it off. Who's going to buy it? Sequoia, or Paradigm, which came out of Sequoia. And again, this is very sinister stuff. If your goal is to accumulate a large asset, you don't send positive stuff out and get the price to go up. You send negative stuff. Soros was a master of this. Julian Robertson was a master of this. They want to buy a big copper position. they put 50 million short copper, spread rumors that copper's going to zero. And then when it tanks, you buy it. And I think that's exactly what's going on. And I think this entire organization was masterfully, magnificently marketed. We've lived through every single one before. Mt. Gox, way bigger deal than this. Could have killed the whole industry. You think about the consolidation and how much of crypto was there. That should have killed it, but we didn't die. Lots of other exchanges have gone down and we didn't die. So I actually believe we will survive and thrive. But Jim's point is really, really well taken, which is this one's more insidious, which is why I think it's all a government psyop, because there's going to be it's interwoven into so many other entities, particularly on the TradFi side. And that's where the regulatory response here is going to be draconian and punishing. What China figured out a decade ago is the next era of dominance will be chips, not ships. It's not your naval superiority, it is your cyber superiority. And that's what the promise of blockchain does, is it takes us away from nation states, brings us into the metaverse where you can be sovereign anywhere you want, you can be part of any community you want, but we have to have communities and sovereignty around ideas that don't have, unlimited printing presses, that aren't, collateralizing with their own equity. And so I am a little bit sympathetic to the Bitcoin maxi saying that this digital gold should be the base layer. Yeah, gold has been the base layer of the monetary system for 5,000 years. 5,000 years. Right. So digital gold is the base layer. That's fine. But the base layer is not all there is. The monetary system works, and I defy anyone to show me different. Name a country that has a bad fractional reserve banking system that you would live in. No one will tell me one, because fractional reserve banking on its own is not bad. It's only bad when it's abused, either through excess leverage or bad collateral or lack of risk management. So what we had was not bad ideas. Centralized exchanges are not bad. They are not evil. Run improperly, and maybe in FTX cases, run for a different purpose than being an exchange, then they're bad. But the idea is not bad. Create the bones, the base layer technology of this new financial system, and we will emerge stronger and dominant as an industry and as a cohort and as a community.
С тобой так хорошо, с тобой и летом, и зимой, с тобой я бы всю жизнь провел, с тобой и весело, и грустно с тобой. Пустой зал, ожидание вокзала. Стою и смотрю куда-то в сторону перрона, и забыв уже, как все мне надоело, я вижу